in the winter time with a partnership with Republic Companies who provided volunteers for Madison to have lunch buddies. And so we're really excited. We met with them last week to get the school up and running this fall for our lunch buddies, to get our lunch buddies back in. And I came back and I said, oh Jay, they get it. These guys really get it, and it's such a great, solid partnership. So we thought it'd be really cool to hear from them this morning on why they decided to partner with us and what it really means to their students, because they're in the fences every day. So.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A lot of familiar faces around the table here. We are so blessed to have your organization at our elementary school, just right up the road here on Brady and Locust. I'm Sarah Gott, and this is Joe Weinstock, who's going to figure us out. And we did start back in January. Mark Kilmer, who is a phenomenal businessman in the community, runs Republican Companies downtown Davenport, grew up in the area and is passionate about the Quad Cities, came to us and said, I want every one of my workers at your school once a week working with a kid. He's like, just a lunch buddy, and I feel very passionate about this through the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization. So he really got the flame started for our school. It wasn't a teacher or someone else. He was just a businessman in the community who really wanted to get it started. And we know Mark, and Mark's just, we could trust him in the process, and he said by the end of this school year I'd like to get 20 kids matched with someone in my business, and by the end of next year I'd like everyone from my business in your building working with the kid once a week for lunch. He's like, it seems so simple, but I think it would really make a difference. So by the end of the year, we worked with Big Brothers Big Sisters. It was an easy flow. They came into our building, worked with Joe, who's our school counselor, very often actually. They really got in there, and we tried to get referrals as much as we could on our end, and they matched on the other end, and they did all the legwork. Joe had to try to get a hold of parents and that sort of thing. But by the end of the year, we almost made our 20 mark, and then we got connected here in the fall, and we want to even go bigger than where we ended at the end of last year. So Sarah was over at times, and it was a really big deal. The matches would come into our building, would stay for 45 minutes to an hour and talk to the kids about anything from their day-to-day to, you know, I do wear a suit when I go to work because I do want to make an impact, and I want people to see me look professional. So those are some things that kids never get to see. Their parents going to work every day, their parents actually getting a college education. So it was a big deal for us. There's two new things that we think is just going to empower this process even more for us. And one is the fact that the Davenport Community Schools superintendent, he has made a powerful statement saying that he's going to decrease our dropout rate. In Davenport, 1 in every 10 kids drops out from high school. And so 10% of the high schoolers dropping out is a severe, significant concern. And so one thing they've done is they've created an at-risk roster for every school in Davenport. And Joe and I receive it at Madison, but almost 30 schools in Davenport have it as well. And it's based on academic concerns, behavioral concerns through discipline referrals and attendance. And they compile a list, and the higher the percentage of those things are, the more at risk a student is to drop out from school. And so we have this roster that's created, so that's what we're using for next year, who we want to see matched right away. Because we have 450, 500 students, and so as mentioned, we can't match them all. So we're using that list to prioritize who we're going to really match first. And so that was one thing we wanted to do. And then the second thing, it was pretty neat, the John Deere Foundation has also become a business partner with us just within the last couple months. And Derek Morgan from the John Deere Foundation, we met with in August, and he wants to start lunch buddies at Madison as well. He was truly, he was blown away with our school, with our personnel, with the kids in our building, and he said, we'd like to start lunch buddies at Madison. I said, well, actually, Republican Companies is already started. So Republic Companies is our first priority right now, but the John Deere Foundation has approached us as another business in the community that wants to get involved. So we're really excited, not just for the impact that it's given to the almost 20 kids in our building so far, but the direction we're moving where maybe we have more than one company coming into our building. The kids love it. It's the highlight of their week, and having them have the opportunity to talk to someone just about themselves it's just huge. So, we're
So
excited about
the
it.
Deer Partnership at your school is what?
The John Deere Foundation?
Yeah.
The John Deere Foundation has paid quite a bit of money to 5 local elementary schools to start Leader in Me elementary schools in the Quad City area. And the Leader in Me Foundation, or the Leader in Me organization, is basically building leaders within your building. And there's a lot of things involved with that, but it's a whole culture and climate type of program. One of the things that the kids have to do within the Leader in Me program is they have to create leadership portfolios. Every kid from kindergarten to 5th grade to even our high at-risk special ed students, they're all going to have a business portfolio that we're going to invite the mayor, business people, hopefully all of you will come on April 26th of this year for the kids to present their work. And it's all about them developing what they want to be, the best leader in themselves. And so the John Deere Foundation has paid $60,000 just this year alone to each school to start this process. So they believe in it. They want to build a leadership quality within each of the schools, within each student. And not only do they want to do that, but they feel like getting into the building would be helpful as well. So they don't see just buying a program as good enough. They see that the Big Brothers Big Sisters program with the lunch buddies would actually let them get into the building and create a face-to-face relationship with the kids. So that's why they want to do more than just give us some money. So that's what they're thinking.
And we went through it and we tried to flag which schools we were in that had the Leader in Me.
Right, 4 of the 5 schools that were selected were actually in. So it's been really good, and I know we've heard positive feedback on, how the culture and climate has started off differently with the Leader in Me program. So it's got some good PR.
But thank you very much. This whole Big Brothers Big Sisters program has been awesome, and we were really excited about making it bigger because we haven't even been in it a year yet, and we've seen the positive relationships. But just one story, actually Mark Kilmer's match, he went to Texas this summer and his dad wanted to keep him down there. And his mom, I drove through Dairy Queen where his mom works at Bettendorf, and she was really emotional about it. And she's like, will you get Mark to call his dad and talk to his dad about getting him to come back here? And I'm like, no, Mark can't get involved in the parent dynamics, but it's neat to just see how much even the parents see that impact. Just a 1 day a week lunch buddy can make such a difference in a kid's life. So thank you.
Jill, you want to give a perspective about being a school contact?
Yeah, first of all, as you're scaling back on the new matches, I think you may have saved about half of those for us. People jumping in the bit, coming to do it. And Kevin, you came back not too soon this year. The kids really do count on it. From day one, I walk into school and they're all coming up to me, Mr. Weiss and others, is my mentor coming back this year? I mean, almost all of them. I was saying, well, I have to wait for the meeting. They should all be back. I haven't heard nobody's coming back. So they do approach me regularly and ask when they're coming and if they're still coming. And it becomes one of the things I count on in school is to see that mentor once a week. And one of the things, our school did participate in lunch buddies for a little while with the school as I previously had done it also. And I think one of the things that has really gotten better is that match support that you're talking about, that you're emphasizing, and I actually see that happening because they do come back soon after the match is made again for a meeting, and so I think that part, and they're always really respectful. They're coming into school during school time, and so they're working with me about what the right time is, and making sure they're not taking the kid from too important instructional time, and we read block all morning. We try not to interrupt, so they're really flexible about when they come to meet with them. So it's been easy to work with them. They kind of keep me on track. Maybe we get back to duties, and I'm like emailing. Even had some staff changes, but it's kind of been seamless in terms of getting the whole community. Easy to work with. We're going to have that many mentors in our building if we were trying to do it
We appreciate all that you do. And I think one thing that makes Madison really successful is the fact that we have a strong school partnership and we have a strong business partnership with BBBS. It's like a tribe, and it really does solidify the base of volunteers and the length of those volunteers stay managed. So we really appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you all.
Hey, I have a quick question. The issue of confidentiality, that's come up in your meetings, right?
Yep.
I mean, from your guys' perspective, we struggle with that because we're kind of viewed as an organization that, you know, we want to bring a mentor in, and we want the mentor to change that dynamic on this job. So we want the child being motivated to go to school, we want them to be active in the classroom, we want them to make good decisions on the campus, and we want them to aspire to be successful. And so over the last couple of years, we've tried to improve the communication between the bigs and the teachers, you know, through introducing the match, you know, to the teacher, when they first are matched, and give, email addresses for email exchanges and things like that. But it seems like in some schools that we get kind of a little bit of resistance in having, a dialogue between the volunteer and the teacher about, specifics of the child's behavior, academic performance, and ability. Is there any insight that you've seen, from our process that, we need to look at, or some work on the school district side to try and improve that?
I think you do a phenomenal job. I don't think you could do any different than the way you're doing it now. It's really, the kid wants to share about their life. The kid wants someone to be involved. So from our standpoint, the kids share everything. I mean, sometimes it's overwhelming on the big person because they're like, we'll get emails like, am I supposed to know this? And oh my gosh, can I help with this? I mean, literally, we shared Republican companies wanted to take the kids to Great America at the end of the year. And they told us like 2 days before. I know, it was a no. But they were like, we know a lot of these kids aren't going to go on vacation. And we want to just get them out of Davenport and do something fun. And we're like, well, you can have pizza in the cafeteria. So, but they know. And I think that's part of the buy-in is that they get it. That, I mean, it is overwhelming for those kids, some of the things that they have to deal with. So, I don't know. Have you run into any of
Well,
that?
kids, of course, are not bound by confidentiality, especially elementary kids. They'll tell you anything you want to hear about what's going on at home or otherwise. Teachers, we always share the emails at the beginning, and that's one thing we do, and I think most of our teachers are comfortable getting a hold of them. We do kind of talk sometimes with teachers about sharing general information about school performance rather than, don't send a report card or email to their mentor. And part of that is confidentiality, but part of it to me is also that I want the mentor to know how they're doing in school, but especially with like behavior or discipline problems. I don't want the mentor in the role to take care of discipline problems. So I don't want the teacher saying, well, this and this, he did this today, so make sure you're not playing games or having fun because he's in trouble or something. That's not what the mentor is there for. So part of it is that too, not necessarily that they aren't allowed to have access to the information, but I want to keep their relationship a little bit separate from school. They're there just to have a relationship to support, to be a buddy. So, parts of it get tricky sometimes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.